Hello, thank you for joining us. This is website authoring 12. We're going to be looking at color. The color that there are many different colors, and there are many ways to represent the color. What we're going to do is look at the ways to represent color that is fully on, and that is an FF color, or 3/4 on, which is a CO color, half on, which is an 80 color, 80, a quarter on, which is a 40 color, and an off color, which is a 00 color. Now the primary colors in this will be red, which is the first two letters of a 6 hash letter combination, and then yellow, which is the middle two, and then finally blue, which is the last two. And black would simply be all zeros and no absence of all color. So let's have a look at what we're asked to do. We're asked to create a style sheet, and let's just scroll up here. Create a style sheet called My Style 3, which sets the font styles H1 to Times New Roman or Times or Serif. So let's start straight up. Let's get it let's open a new we're going to go new. We want H1, and they wanted Times New Roman. So our style is font family, full colon, and in double Times New Roman. Times New Roman, capital R, comma. Now if that's not available, times, and if that's not available, serif. Okay, so that was our first instruction. We want H1 to be 36 points high, black, which is absence of color, and center aligned. So we will put font size, full colon, and we want 36 points. They wanted the text align to be centered, text align to be center, USA spelling. And they want the color to be black, so color, we'll use the USA spelling for color. Black, now black, we will put a hash, and then no red, no yellow, and no blue. And there is the color black. Okay, let's see what else we want. H2 to be Arial, Helvetica, or sans serif. H2. Font family to be Arial, Helvetica, in this order, preference, or sans serif. Good. We want H2 to be 24 points high, red, and left aligned. So font size, 24 point. Text align, left. Color. Now color, they want it to be red, so color will turn red fully on, so hash. Fully on is FF, that's 16 in hexadecimal, that's the biggest number you can have, and that's turning red up to the maximum volume. We want 0 volume on the yellow and 0 volume on the blue. So yellow is the middle two and blue is the last two. Good. Actually, I have stated yellow. I'm getting my art confused. The first two is red. The middle two is not yellow. In fact, the middle two, my error, is actually green. It's RGB. So this is red fully on. This is green off and blue off. Uh, no amount of color of those at all. The next task was for H3 to be Arial, Helvetica or Sans Serif again, 18 points high, blue and right aligned. Right, I'm going to copy this. It's much quicker to just paste this. Let's edit it. So we want H3, same Arial, Helvetica, Sans Serif, but we want the font size to be 18. We want the text aligned to be right and right GHT, RIGHT, and we want no red, no green, and we want it to be blue. So let's turn blue fully up to the maximum number, which is 16 in hexadecimal, FF. 15 plus, that's 15 is F, and this is 16 to the power of, this is 16 up to F. We'll have to do a hexadecimal FF. I just want to flick over into this, looking at FF. Now 16's column is the first one, and the units columns is the second one. Like in our system, a 16 is a tens column and a units column, but in hexadecimal, this is the 16's column and the units column. So how many 16's do we have, and how many units do we have? This is F lots of 16 and F lots of units. Well, base 16 in the hexadecimal has 16 numerals, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, and F. You can count them, there are 16 there. 0 to 9 represents quantities, 0 to 9 represents quantities 0 to 9 as normal in the decimal base 10 system that you're very used to. But A represents the quantity 10. B represents the quantity of 11. C represents the quantity 12. D represents our base 10 quantity at 13. E in hexadecimals, base 16, represents 14 as a quantity, and F in hexadecimal represents 15 as our normal decimal quantity. So therefore, when we say we've got F lots of 16, we're saying we've got 15 lots of 16. And when we say we've got F units, we're saying we've got 15 units. So F16s means 240, and F lots of 1s is another 15. So FF in hexadecimal means 255. So when we're turning up the volume of red up to FF, we're turning it up to a maximum volume of 255, which is the largest value we can go in a binary system. Binary system means 2 characters, and our 2 characters we're using are taking up, sorry, not binary, our 2 bits of information that we're using is FF, and we can turn that into 255 volume pieces of red. Now let's go back to our task, and we just turned blue up to the maximum, which was FF 255. Before I was saying maximum 16, but it's hexadecimal. So FF turning red up to 255 maximum volume, and blue, FF turning blue up to a maximum 255 volume. Now let's have a look at our task. We are asked to go P and L list items to Arial. Now what we'll do, I'll just copy this again. I just Control Z, I just made an error. So can copy this, paste this here. Now we want P, comma, Li. We can do this, we can group them and say, go, both of these will have these properties. And we want Arial, Helvetica, Sans Serif, that's okay. We want 14 points for P and L list items. And we want them to be left aligned, left. And we want the color to be, let's read this color, and it says we want it to be dark blue. Now dark blue, we're going to turn our blue on only in half volume, and half volume, halfway is 80. So we've got, we could have, off is 00, a quarter volume, which is pretty dark, is 40. A bit more blue, turn the volume up to halfway, we got 80. If we had 3/4 of the way turn the blue up, we could go C0. But we want, and if we wanted full blue, we have maximum 255 FF. So just go back to half blue, 80. I'd like to flick back here and just talk about these values 40, 80, and C0. 40, how many 16s and how many units? Well, this is the 16s column. So we got 4 lots of 16 and no units. So 4 lots of 16 means 64. No lots of units means 0. So 40 in hexadecimal is our normal 64. So when we say 40, we're saying we've got 64. That's 1/4 of 256, which, and our maximum is 255 using FF. We can't go to the third, which is 100, which is 256. 80 in a color means halfway, half of the color. We just used that for dark blue. And so let's have a look at what 80 means. 80 means 8 lots of 16 and 0 lots of units. So 8 lots of 16 is 128. 0 lots of units is 0. So 80 in hexadecimal is our number, not 64, our number 128. Now 128 is half of 256. So when we use 80, we're using half color. So we've turned up the volume of our color up to halfway. Now CO, how many 16s? We've got C lots of 16. How many units? 0 units. So C lots of 16, if you recall, A, B, C, A was 10, B was 11, and C was 12. So C lots of 16 means 12 lots of 16, that's 192, and 0 units is 0, so C0 means 192. So when we put our 3/4 color, we're turning up our volume to 192, and so that's CO is 3/4 color. And that's a lot brighter than half. This is dark blue, bit more blue, you'd get a little bit more blue and less black, and then bright blue would have FF. So let's go back to our task here, and we are finished. Let's save this and let's apply it. And we want to save this as, and we were told to save it as my style 3.css. Save that. Now we need to relate, we need a relationship, so we need to have a link and relate our file web page 5. Let's open that. This was our web page 5. We're going to apply it here. Let's just link it. Is there a link? No, we need a link in here. So in the head, we want a link, and our relationship, it is style sheet. Get used to these. This relative relationship link, and its type is it's text CSS, and it's href is the link to the file. What is the file called? It was mystyle3.css. All right, let's close that. Now we should link that. That should work. Let's save this and run it. My web page 5. We will open with Internet Explorer. And let's see if it reads it okay. We haven't made any errors. All right, here we go. So we've got black center. That was 0000000. No reds, no greens, no blues. This was fully red, which was FF, no green, 00, no blue. This was dark blue. No, this was normal blue. So this was fully blue, FF. So it was 00 for red, 00 for green, and FF, maximum volume for blue. Now, what you see here is dark blue. Notice the difference between the bright blue, and this is half on. So we used 80, which is 128, half volume of blue. And we've changed the font, and it's all Arial. And there we have our web page working. I will, however, before I finish, take this line out. Just cut that line out. I'll save that. That wasn't there before. And if we run this page, open with, there is no style. It's not linking to that style sheet at all. So that line is critical to link the file to our style sheet, and they must be in the same folder. So we've got mystyle3.css in the same folder as web page 5. So I'll save that again, reopen it, and there we have our style sheet working. Slightly long, but it was important to talk about the volumes of our hexadecimal FF 8040 and C0, and also known the hash first two are red, the middle two are green. We didn't use any green, and the last two are blue. Our next session that we look at, we're going to be looking at, again, we'll look a little bit more at this concept of color. Until then, stay happy.